Let's talk about parfait. Welcome back to Sprung On Food. I'm your host, Kae Sprung. This season, we're talking about favorite foods, the history behind it, and the role it plays in the world today. Joining me today is holistic wellness coach and raw and plant-based chef, Chef Beee. Chef Beee, welcome.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
I am very excited that you are here. It's always really fun to have another culinary person on, not because we're expected here to do anything technical, but it's just always fun to get that different lens, that different view into food because you are so into that space. So this is gonna be a fun one. And I was delighted to hear your favorite food is fruit parfait. I have to know all about why this is your favorite food. Tell me all the things.
I think it's sexy.
Okay, explain.
Well, I think that there's certain desserts, and to me, it's even though it's something that can be used for breakfast, it's very much a dessert food, and I like silky textures in my mouth, and parfaits, if done well, can provide that silky texture that is very pleasing. It's fun. I love the variety that you can create from parfaits, not only with the cream, but the fruit. So you can have something that's very subtle, very simple, to something very dramatic. And that's sexy to me.
I'm into it and I like your explanation of it. Do you have maybe a go-to composition, flavors, particular fruits that you like in yours?
So I'll say I've actually played around with different creams, and I find that the best parfait cream comes from a cashew-based parfait.
Aha. And why cashew in particular for you?
Well, cashews, one, I don't do dairy-based parfaits. I used to do these experiences with folks where we would teach them how to eat raw
Hmm.
for 30 days. And during that time, you would want to provide folks with some go-to dishes that they can have, but then they can change out the fruit. They can change
Hmm.
out the, right? Over the course of that 30-day period so that it's not too taxing on the brain. What am I going to make? What am I going to eat? Da, 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 da. So I
Right.
started playing with parfaits then. When we moved into the winter months, something a little bit hardier, we moved to cashew. I'm like, that cashew is the best. And really, it's so versatile. So cashews people use for so many things related to vegan desserts. So if
Hmm.
you're trying to do a vegan cream cheese or a vegan cheesecake or vegan mascarpone, cashews are the way to go. My go-to flavor is citrus.
Ooh.
And so, for example, a cashew cream that has like an orange zest or a lemon zest with lemon essential oils to elevate the flavor profile of it is really beautiful. And so that would be the base.
Hmm.
And then the fruit, I love to change it up. I love berries. Berries are great for me because they're not too sweet.
Hmm.
I love a parfait that's just the right amount of sweet. And then you can add fresh herbs, add a little bit of sweetness to the berries. And so as you're layering it in there, it's just the right amount of sweetness. It's not too much and it's not too little. It's just perfect.
It's just
And
right.
it's
Yeah.
just right.
And
So
I love your addition too of the herbs. I think that is something that is so easily overlooked when it comes to certain items like this that do have sweeter components, and being able to balance it with something very herby, I think is so nice. And for some people, unexpected, but it works so beautifully together. So that was so fun. I love hearing that.
it's like a little gift. So
I love
like
that.
particularly if you make like a batch, if you make a batch of the cream and
Mhm.
then a batch of the fruit mixture, and then you can actually create little gifts and give it to your family members or just have them
Oh.
for yourselves that's tucked away in the fridge. And the thing that I love the most is, let's say you have something to eat that's a little savory and you're like, what's that thing that I want? And
Mm.
you forget about it. And then you remember, I have parfait.
Yes.
And it's just the
Yes.
right size. It's not too much. It's a little bit. It has a few layers. You can just go to it and get it as a snack. It just hits the spot.
100%. Yes, and how brilliant too, the gifts. Like I know we're not in the same city, but if I ever visit you, I'll be like, "Hey, Chef B, remember that thing you were talking about? Gifts? I'm ready for my parfait."
I go for you.
I would be thrilled and I'd be so appreciative. But of course, mentioning appreciating to better understand and appreciate our food, we have to know where it came from.
Absolutely.
Let's begin with the word itself, parfait, a French word that means perfect. The item we call a parfait today lives up to that name in both form and flavor, and its journey from 19th century French kitchens to breakfast bowls and Instagram feeds worldwide is layered with transformation. Imagine a dessert that begins with French culinary tradition, aristocratic taste, and meticulous recipe writing. In the mid to late 1800s, French chefs weren't layering yogurt and berries in tall glasses yet. They were crafting something richer, colder, and technically demanding. In France, the dessert originally referred to a frozen confection made by heating together cream, egg yolks, sugar, and syrup to create a rich, silky custard mixture that would then get frozen. It was something closer to a semifreddo, but with a distinctly custardy French touch. The earliest known recipes with the name appear in French cookbooks from the 1860s and 1890s, where parfait au café, coffee-flavored frozen dessert, was described and treated with the respect of technical French patisserie creation. The first published parfait recipe was from Jules Gouffé, a French pastry chef whose cookbook, Le Livre de Cuisine, published in 1867, includes one of the oldest known recipes using the name parfait. This predates later popularization and shows that professional French chefs were already familiar with the dessert concept in the mid-19th century. While we don't know who invented the dish, Gouffé documented it in a widely distributed professional text, making him central to its early history. The use of special molds, or moule à parfait, speaks to a sophistication of the original dessert. They were unmolded and presented, often like semifreddo or frozen terrine, smooth, rich, and elegant. Parfait was truly a perfect frozen custard, a phrase you can almost hear French chefs whispering with admiration. By 1901, parfait had already secured a place at one of the most prestigious tables in the world. At the very first Nobel Prize banquet in Stockholm, guests were served dessert of Nobel ice cream parfait and fruit tartlet. Long before it became a breakfast cup, parfait was a dessert of prize-worthy ceremony. Chef B, so our parfait starting out much different from how we recognize it today, and apparently so good it was being served at Nobel Prize banquets. If you were to cook something special to make for maybe an event or for someone in particular, what would it be and who would it be for?
Well, it would be my dad.
Oh,
And he was a chef. He was a chef in his own right.
right.
And we're from the Caribbean. We're from Guyana. And one of the things you must know about people who are from the Caribbean, we take great pride in being able to cook and
Mm,
do domesticated things, but particularly cook.
okay.
And he was a baker. He could bake his ass off. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
breads, pastries, you name it. Like everyone knew him for that.
Mm,
For me, there's a dish that I would make for him. It's very simple. It's a dal. In the Caribbean, in Guyana in particular, there's a lot of Indians there. And so their food has really influenced the culture. And so dal is a dish. It's very simple in a cup, split pea base, cumin seeds, we call it jeera, turmeric, a little bit of curry, a little hint of curry, and you have it with some rice on the side or bread. And not everyone can do it well.
Uh-huh. And why do you think that is? What's the
Sometimes
secret?
the peas are too thin, so
Ah,
it's watery. The dal is too watery. Sometimes you've cooked it down too much, so the dal is too thick.
mm,
So getting the dal just the right flavor, just the right texture, and then offering it as a gift to someone special is like, and then for them to affirm that that dal is what you think it is, and they're like, "Yo, this is some good shit." So
yes.
my dad, he's one of those dudes. He can cook, and
Mm,
so they know good food. So
right.
to present this dal to him and to get his favor would be super special to me.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
And then I would follow it with that parfait. Like, okay, daddy,
Yes. Yes, yes,
now
yes.
that you had this savory splendor, how about
The
this? And I know he would not have had that before because that's not part of the culture, that
mhm.
kind of dessert. So to get his feedback on what that kind of a dessert tastes like for him will
Yes.
be super special.
Oh, love it. Now, let's hop across the ocean because when parfait made its way into American culinary culture in the early 20th century, reportedly appearing on menus in New York around the turn of the century, it started to undergo a change. Americans were entranced by the French word and the concept, but Americans also had fountain sodas, tall glasses, and an admiration for showy desserts. Slowly, the French frozen custard became something else entirely, a layered dessert built in tall, clear glasses. Layers of cream, ice cream, or custard, fruit syrups, nuts, sometimes liqueurs, and eventually fresh fruit created something that was as fun to look at as it was to eat. It was visually catchy and a textural party. The American parfait was less about technically perfect frozen custard and more about joyful layering, colors, textures, temperatures. The glass was just as important as it was inside, and the long parfait spoon became part of the experience. Chef Beee, I don't know about you, I love those long parfait spoons. Is there a, might be hard to pick one, but I don't know, maybe not. Is there a favorite utensil or kitchen tool that you have?
Yes, you know the garlic press?
Uh-huh. That's your favorite?
I love that thing. I just love how it minces or it just kind of makes the garlic all soft and,
Yeah.
malleable. And I just love the process of taking the outer layer of the garlic off, pressing it all in there, and then making it into mush so that I can make my pesto sauces. I can do my garlic bread, topper, whatever. But that's probably one of my favorite. I have a few others, but I really like that one. That one comes to mind first.
That's a great one, a very unexpected one, to me at least.
I just thought of something else.
Yes, please.
Chopsticks, actually. So
Okay.
I actually
As a
think
favorite tool?
Yes, I think that's also very sexy to cook with
Okay.
chopsticks, to cook with them, not eat with them.
Aha, yes. Okay, for a second, I
So,
thought
like,
you meant to eat your parfaits, and I was like, wow, you've got to share your secrets with me.
I
Yeah,
mean,
cooking with them. Uh-huh.
right? So, I mean, just having the ability to maneuver and pick things up and saute with
Yeah.
some really nice chopsticks. When I see those sorts of videos on social media, I'm like, they got skills.
Yeah. You're liking, you're saving, you're following, subscribing, all the things.
Yes, they
Yeah.
have skills. And then you're placing too. So when people use chopstick styled tools that are metal, they look
Mhm.
almost like a tweezer, but they're like
Yes.
oversized.
Yes.
And they're using that to place flowers for garnishment.
Mhm.
I think that's so beautiful too. I don't
Yeah.
have one of my own,
Okay.
but just in observing what I see out there, I'm like, that's dope.
These are some great answers. I love them. Yeah. So, why was it called a parfait when it was moving so far away from what it originally was? Well, American restaurateurs and soda fountain operators commonly borrowed French terminology to elevate dishes. Make them sound fancy, like a la mode, frappe, and souffle. So, calling a layered ice cream dessert a parfait gave it instant sophistication, connecting it to French culinary prestige. Plus, it made it sound more refined than layered sundae. Now, if the American transformation was about layering, the fruit parfait was about freshness. At first, fruits appeared in parfaits as syrups or garnishes, but as the 20th century wore on, and especially into post-war era of processed foods, health trends, and yogurt's rise in popularity, fruit and yogurt parfait became central ingredients. Parfaits turned lighter, brighter, and more accessible. In North America, particularly what we now often call a fruit parfait, with layers of yogurt, fresh fruit, and granola, started to appear in the mid to late 20th century. Soda fountains and diner dessert menus started popping up in cafes and on breakfast menus, serving parfaits as a morning treat or snack, sometimes with nuts or other crunchy bits layered in. This was a pretty big pivot. The parfait is no longer a true dessert. It had become a breakfast and snack food, wholesome seeming, colorful, and packed with fresh fruit or berries. But if America reimagined the parfait, other cultures reimagined it again. In Japan, where the parfait became a staple in cafes after World War II, the dessert evolved into something artistic. Tall glasses of meticulously arranged fruit, soft server ice cream, jellies, syrups, delicate garnishes became standard. Fresh seasonal fruit, famously prized and often expensive, is featured front and center. Kisaten, traditional Japanese coffee houses, began serving parfaits as part of a broader image of yosoku, Western-inspired cuisine adapted to Japanese taste. At fruit parlors in places like Ginza, Tokyo's upscale shopping district, some tracing origins to the early 20th century, fruit parfaits are almost ceremonial, visually stunning. They're stacked with melon, berries, whipped cream, custard, and sometimes matcha or specialty jellies, where seasonality and presentation are cultural hallmarks. Unlike the American parfait, which often leans casual and functional, the Japanese version is composed, designed to be experienced from top to bottom as a deliberate sequence. Chef Bee, have you ever seen or tried any of these Japanese parfaits?
I haven't. I have not seen this. Now I'm like, I need to go and do some scrolling to figure out what you're talking about.
I have a link with just an example.
Let me tell you, I've recently become sort of infatuated with the Japanese culture
Uh-huh.
because of their attention to detail and cleanliness.
Yes.
And I'm like, I want to go to Japan. I
Same.
gotta go. I
Same.
gotta go. I want to just go and be in the space, in the energy, because these are some beautiful, beautiful people. And I just, I'm up for it. I'm ready. Oh yeah, these are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm seeing is that it's heavily like we use smaller pieces of fruit.
Mm-hmm.
They're like really celebrating the fruit.
Yes.
So the cream is a little bit, but the fruit is the star of the show.
Exactly. Yeah. And just the way that it's all composed too is just super
Yeah.
impressive. It's very much a spectacle. Well, then came a real mainstream moment. At the turn of the millennium, if French chefs gave parfait its name and soda fountains gave it the aesthetic, McDonald's gave it scale. In 1999, McDonald's introduced the fruit and yogurt parfait in the United States as part of a broader push toward lighter menu options. The late 1990s were a critical point for fast food. Nutrition scrutiny was increasing, consumer demand for lower fat choices was rising, and chains were experimenting with salads, yogurt, and items framed as balanced. The parfait arrived as a layered cup of low-fat yogurt, strawberries and blueberries, and a packet of granola. It was marketed primarily as a breakfast item, but still available throughout the day, an operational advantage since it only required refrigeration and assembly, just portioning vanilla yogurt, adding blueberries and strawberries, and serving a packet of granola on the side, rather than needing any grill or fry time. At that moment, McDonald's was actively modernizing its image. The fruit and yogurt parfait release came at a time when there was a growing normalization of yogurt as an American breakfast staple and an obsession in diet culture with low fat foods in the early 2000s. By the mid 2000s, the parfait had become symbolic of fast food's attempt to soften its image. It appeared in nutrition forward marketing, smart choice ordering guides, and in discussions surrounding calorie transparency, especially as cities like New York began implementing menu labeling laws in 2008. In 2020, among COVID related operational streamlining, McDonald's removed several menu items to simplify service, and the fruit and yogurt parfait was one of them. Its removal sparked noticeable nostalgia online. It had become part of people's routines, pre-office breakfasts, and a lighter option for road trip stops. The parfait's 2-decade run on the national menu from 1999 to 2020 signals sustained consumer demand. In a system known for frequent menu turnover, the longevity itself is impressive. Chef Bee, I'm going to assume, but you can correct me, that you probably have not had this McDonald's yogurt parfait before.
Never had it. I
Okay,
don't eat
yeah.
at McDonald's. It's been years. It's been maybe 3 decades since I've been
Okay.
to a McDonald's.
Yes. I can't remember the last time. I'm vegetarian, so I can't remember the last time that I have been either since childhood. But as someone like yourself who is in the wellness space and also coaches those who are typically busy professionals, maybe looking for something more on the go, what do you think about this introduction of something more wholesome on a fast food menu and then its removal?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I mean, it's very interesting to hear why the parfait grew in popularity. It makes sense. I know that with food trends, you know, immediately when you said that, I was thinking, gosh, they were trying to push yogurt.
Mm,
So in the same way that they have historically tried to push milk or
hmm.
other kinds of foods, you have to make it practical. You have to make it in such a way where people can really see themselves consuming it on an ongoing basis in a variety of forms. And so, yogurt, if I just buy some yogurt, particularly if it's Greek yogurt or something like that, that's not exciting. But if I can put it in this parfait, change out the fruit, put the granola, that makes sense. And then for people who are busy consumers, yeah, that just seems to make sense. But then I also know that with lifing,
Mm,
maybe oats became something too. And I do
mm,
know that people started adding oats to their parfaits. Let me do a overnight oat and layer that. So,
right.
just the needs of consumers to address health issues that come up. Yogurt, while it's good, it might be too sweet depending on how you're preparing it, right? So, yes, that makes sense to me.
What kind of advice might you have for somebody who is looking for something like that, but can't find it on menus? Are there words of encouragement you have for just making it at home? Like what do you think and what would you say?
Yeah, I think that with food trends, it gives us an idea. It gives us the ideas of what's possible, right?
Hmm.
So I see a yogurt parfait at a place like McDonald's or for God forbid, Arby's or wherever, and then it's gone. Always know that you can make it better. You can
Mm.
put your personal touch on it. So, we always talk about the pill, patience, intention, love, and light. That's the
Ooh.
unique thing that you put on your food. And so I wouldn't feel any way. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've been to restaurants where I have my favorite thing, and then only go 5 years later, and then it's like gone.
Mm.
But that's inspiration for me to make it myself. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and do my thing and put my spin on it. So I do think that when these trends come and go in these fast food spaces, it's an opportunity for you to create. And parfaits are low lifts, right?
Hmm.
in regards to a dessert, snack, breakfast item. Let me
Yes.
say this. Who was it?
Yeah.
Was it Anthony Bourdain? I think it was Anthony Bourdain. He believed that everyone should have their own menu. I
Oh,
hope I'm not
okay.
getting it. I hope it was Anthony Bourdain. I was talking to a good friend of mine about this.
What did it
Yes.
say?
So what he was saying is everyone should have their signature items that they can make. So that when
Ah,
someone comes to your home, you can make something for someone. It could be something simple. It could be
yeah.
deviled eggs. It could
Mm-hmm.
be a parfait. It could be bark, chocolate bark. It could be
Sure.
anything. And you kind of have those things on hand so that if friends came by, you can make that special thing for them.
Oh,
And
I
I
yes,
love that. I
I
love
f-
that.
I firmly believe in just having at least a couple things in your arsenal that you're confident in. It's something you've made a number of times, and if need be, either just to feed yourself or present to other people too. You have it. You don't need to be a short order cook and learn and know how to make a million different things very quickly.
Yeah, I love that. And I mean, that's so exciting, right? Just imagine you go to a friend and then they pull out this little menu. They're like, what do you want me to make for you? That's on you.
Cute.
Super cute, right?
I love that. Yes. Well, in today's culinary landscape, fruit parfait has made its mark. It's a breakfast and brunch staple, yogurt layered with berries, bananas, peaches, or seasonal fruit, topped with granola or nuts, served in cafes and homes throughout the world. These parfaits are vibrant, wholesome, and in the recent days of obsession over protein and fiber, admired for their protein and fiber. But they're also dessert. Ice cream, custard, fruit compote, gels, and crumbles make up dessert parfaits in upscale restaurants and boutique patisseries, looking back to the visual spectacle of the American version, but with a bit more refinement. And they've really become popular all over the world. In Japan, fruit parfaits share menu space with matcha soft serve and melon bowls. In France, the classic frozen custard remains a refined dessert on patisserie menus, even if it's less common than some of its international versions. Whether in a diner in New York or a fruit parlor in Tokyo's Ginza, fruit parfait is loved for its fantastic juxtaposition of freshness and indulgence, and its simplicity and sophistication. In the end, the story of parfait, and especially fruit parfait, is a story of transformation. From intricate French cuisine to everyday cafe menus and drive-through fast food offerings, from frozen custard to fresh fruit and yogurt, it reminds us that food evolves with taste, culture, and time, and that sometimes perfection isn't a single recipe, it's the layers we build it with. Chef Bee, what do you think about the backstory of our parfait?
Yeah. I mean, the thing that I think about the most is how food moves,
Mm,
and food moves through cultures, right? And so just even talking to you about Guyana and some of the foods we celebrate, that comes from East India, it comes from Africa, and just how when people come to a place or things are introduced in a place, foods are introduced in a place, how people adopt it and they really try to make it their own. And that's one of the things I do love about food. Learning these backstories, learning how people make it their own, learn how people incorporate their special things, their seasonal, local traditions, and just really turn that food that was once here into something that is culturally a staple.
mm.
So I just kept looking at those Japanese parfaits and I was like, gosh, who would have ever known that parfaits, this French thing, was in Japan like this? I didn't even know. So I just kept thinking about just how food moves through cultures and spaces.
A
Just
100%. Yeah, and how each place, culture, person can take that as framework and really transform it to what they want it to be or what's relevant where they are. So again, with your food, I think it's a perfect example of that because yes, classically it started off as something that we would look at and be like, no, that's not a parfait. This is a parfait, but both can be true. But it's just how, exactly to your point, it's transformed over time and culture to really fit and suit the needs, the wants, the taste of the next place that it's landing in. And I'm glad you got to discover these Japanese parfaits now, because now on your trip, when you make it over there, you're absolutely going to have to find one and try it, or at least take lots of photos of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I mean, thank you so much for this food tour on parfaits and the history. Who knew?
Who
I mean,
knew?
I hadn't thought about that. It's like, wow.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you can believe it, parfaits have certainly made their mark in pop culture, and they even show up in DreamWorks' Shrek in 2001. The character Donkey delivers the now iconic monologue.
You know what else everybody like? Parfaits. Have you ever met a person you say, hey, let's get some parfaits? They say, hell no, I don't like no parfaits. Parfaits are delicious. No!
During the 2010s wellness boom, layered yogurt and fruit parfaits became a dominant presence on Pinterest, social media, and clean eating blogs. And in the US, National Parfait Day is celebrated on November 25th. Have you been celebrating, Chef Bee?
Listen, I'm looking forward to it. I know it's November 25th, right? And so I'm looking forward to making parfaits all the days leading up to November 25th and seeing all the different ones I can make.
Yeah, perfect. Mark your calendar. Are there any other pop culture moments that you can think of where parfait made a mark, or any final words that you have about your favorite food?
Well, I'll say this. I just think that if there are ways that people can get really good flavors in and things that are nutritionally beneficial to them, I do think that the parfait is one of those things. You know, I recently started making a chia seed, so now I'm like shifting things, right? So we talked
Ah,
about the cashew. Now I'm adding chia seeds and elderberry flour
ooh, love
powder.
elderberry.
So
Yeah.
it's a beautiful purpley color. I add a little bit of beet powder to it as well. And I'm layering it with blueberries, mango, dragon fruit, things of that nature. That is a nutritionally dense dessert slash breakfast item slash snack. So I
Oh,
do think one of the things that I try to do when I make certain foods is how can I add as much good stuff to it, not just for me, but when I think about my children, my husband who may not like those things, how can I hide them? And I think
clever.
our ways are a wonderful way to hide some of these things. And you know, for your family, like for the moms and the dads and the folks who are creating foods for their children, you know, let's create things that are beautiful because that's going to inspire them to eat it. Let's also get them a part of the process in the creation because that's going to also inspire them to try it and just have fun. Like just keep having fun and playing and experimenting with ingredients, with the colors, with the how to put it together. Just have fun in the kitchen. I don't think we talk about that enough. And we need to get more people back in the kitchen cooking. Period.
Heck yeah. I mean, if that doesn't inspire people, I don't know what will. You've painted such a beautiful and inspirational picture there. Chef B, thank you so much for joining me to talk about your love for parfaits and helping me to tell its story.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for watching. You can find links and more info in the description below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. See you next time.